How you doing, Benjamin?
I'm great. I'm really grateful to be back home. I've been traveling for work for the last couple months, so I'm landed back here in Boulder, Colorado, this past week, and yeah, there's a lot happening right now. Um, that's really exciting, and I'm really glad to be like back at my desk after being on the road for a while.
Cool. That's great to hear. Were you traveling doing work with Open Civics, or was this different work?
Yeah, it was a combination of things. The first one was through Open Civics, facilitating an alliance of primarily uh, organizations that are working in the planetary regeneration space. One of the cool things that's happened as a result of doing Open Civics is any group of people that are trying to form a non-rivalrous consortium of innovators to work on big complex problems together. I've been putting out enough of the signal of that's what I'm committed to, and that's what our theory of change is devoted to, that when people start trying to do things like that, they call me and they ask me to help them out. And so this project was helping a group of like 8 really incredible high level global organizations collaborate together on a shared strategy. um, and so I'm really excited about that. We'll be able to announce more about it soon, but it's a demonstration for me that this theory of change is working. There are people who are realizing that we actually need this degree of coordination in order to address the complexity of the challenges that we're facing.
Maybe a good first starting point to unpack would be what are these signals that you're seeing these people unify around, that you're unifying around, and then we can get into how Open Civics is kind of a manifestation of those values that are being signaled. How does that sound?
That sounds great. Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to the philosophy of public goods and how that's different from the way that I think a lot of nonprofits have thought about social impact in the past. Because these projects are all focusing on creating infrastructures that actually empower grassroots action. So instead of trying to compete to be like the one organization that's like planting all of the trees in this one area, it's like, how can we cluster together to create open standards around the work that we're doing, or tools that enable local communities to better coordinate amongst each other to do those things? And when you flip that frame, then all of a sudden, you're not competing for grant funding. You're actually seeing the force multipliers that are created when a group of organizations come into alignment around a strategy. Because you want all of those public goods, all of those utilities, all of those infrastructures to work together, to feather into each other, so that one's inputs become the outputs for another. And when you start thinking that way, the rivalrous dynamics start to kind of break down, because we're just focusing on building tools, not trying to like capture the impact space.
Hmm. It's interesting because it sounds like what you're talking about is fundamentally about gains in efficiency because we're better able to coordinate. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, yeah. And in order to benefit from those gains, we need to be thinking in terms of infrastructure. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.